Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Kick is left and it's no good. He missed it.
You come out of a game like that, very disappointed. But what's most important is what we do next. We have seniors that, this has wound down and this is it for them. We know that postseason is at stake and our guys love to play football. I know they want to play as many games as possible.
After letting a 17-point lead slip through their fingertips last week against Indiana, Michigan State's football coach Mel Tucker called the loss a very disappointing one, considering the Spartans were one win away from becoming bowl eligible. Now, any chance of getting to a bowl game comes down to Saturday's showdown in State College against number 11 Penn State. And a key to getting win number 6 could involve number 6 Malik Carr. The redshirt sophomore tight end from Oak Park High School sat down with our Ian Kress, and East Lansing really is his home away from home.
So we'll start with obviously Saturday. Besides from the outcome, you did have a major milestone, your first career touchdown in college.
Second and goal, Thorne throws off the hands and deflected and caught for a touchdown by Malik Carr.
Just like they drew it up.
That moment of just knowing you now have a touchdown in college, how cool is that?
This is great. It's cool. Now I can. My little brother told me not to talk to him until I scored.
Really?
Yeah. My baby brother, he's about 8.
So you haven't talked to him for like the last couple of years then?
No, he said that I think like 3 weeks ago, and then I scored, and so I was like, you know what? I'm glad that happened.
How many siblings do you have?
Technically 6.
6. Wow. Okay.
I think. Right? Yeah. So it's my baby brother's 8. That's man. You got Jeremiah 16. He goes to Belleville. JJ is 17, he goes to Belleville, and Josh is 17, he goes to Belleville. And then I have my stepsister, she goes here, and my other sister on my dad's side, she goes to Grand Valley State, but she'll be coming here next year.
It seems like you have a very athletic background with not just your siblings, but your parents as well. Start with your dad. He's the head coach at Grand Valley, so what's that like, just seeing him be a coach?
It is great for him to have his own program, and I'm proud of him. He made me see coaching perspectives, like when I was getting mad at coaches, because everybody gets mad at a coach at a certain point. It's like he made me understand why they do certain things and how I should respond to them. And
with your mom, she obviously is pretty good athletic background as well, being a state champion, national champion at Tennessee. And what would you say, is she more athletic than your dad, or who is the most athletic one?
Right now, she got everybody beat. She's number 1. You can't, national championship in college is the highest it goes in the family as right now. I'm gonna give me one here and go give me a Super Bowl. That'd be cool.
So that's motivation for you to try to out-top what your mom accomplished.
Yeah, as long as I'm a pro. Once I hit a pro, I can talk.
Going from out of high school to Purdue first, and then coming to MSU. Obviously, being from Michigan probably is what helped come to MSU. But what was really the driving force for you wanting to be a Spartan?
They actually let me be who I am. As far as like basketball is a big part of who I am, just because of my connection with it, with my parents, and it's just something I've always did my whole life. So not having it for 1 year, it hurt to a point where I didn't know what to do. And Michigan State gave me the opportunity to get that back.
So now that you're being a dual sport athlete, being able to be a part of the basketball program, being a big part of the football program, what do you like about having Coach Tucker and also Coach Izzo?
Tuck isn't as intense all the time. It is as intense, but he's laid back at the same time. It's just like Izzo is more in your face. Tuck is more, I'm gonna say what I got to say, a solid voice, and that's it, no change of tone. But they're both great coaches, and they care about their players a lot, which I love.
Is that part of why you wanted to come to Michigan State, because you had 2 really good coaches that have established themselves as well?
Yeah, and I've pretty much known Izzo my whole life. Dwayne Stevens is my cousin. He's my dad's first cousin, my second cousin.
That's pretty cool. Do you keep in touch with him now? Obviously, he's at Western right now.
Yeah, of course, because I'm glad my dad and DJ got jobs, head coaching jobs at the same time. It's pretty great.
Yeah, obviously you have football and basketball with your background, but over the summer you did sign an NIL deal with the WWE. How did that come about?
So we have this app called Influencer, and I was just scrolling through it and I seen WWE. I contacted him, and it's WWE, so you don't think you're gonna get message back. So I got a text message. It said it was from WWE, and I was like, oh, okay. And they called me, and we talked, and it just happened.
Did you watch the WWE as a kid a lot?
I didn't, see, like, at starting out, I didn't. I watched it more with my brothers, because, like, my brothers liked it more. I do love certain, like, WWE characters, like Roman Reigns and The Rock, those my two go-tos.
So could you see a time maybe after your football days or basketball days where you became a WWE superstar in a way?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, why not? It's fun.
Carr is the youngest of the 3 tight ends featured in Michigan State's offense and the only one who is expected to return next season. As for redshirt senior Daniel Barker, he's moving on, but over the last few weeks, he's tried to make the most out of his opportunities in the green and white. And we chat with him when we come back.
As we go to break, Farm Bureau Insurance invites you to register to win an exclusive private dinner with head coach Mel Tucker. Go to InsideTheGreenSweeps.com to register.
At MSUFCU, we believe managing your finances should be easy. That's why we offer totally green checking with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and tons of account features you'll love, like free bill payment and mobile deposit, free access to your credit score, and much more. Plus, you can easily manage your money anytime, anywhere with the free mobile app. Stop by a branch, give us a call, or visit us online and open your totally green checking account today.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
There is no question Michigan State's football team has been through its fair share of trials and tribulations this season, but tight end Daniel Barker has found a way to embrace it all. He transferred to MSU from Illinois and made sure to let our Nick Mantis know how the hardships of this year have really made him a better person overall.
All right, Daniel Barker.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
Lofting that over the middle, that's Barker. Right down the middle and into the end zone for a Michigan State touchdown.
This past year has been one of transition, of learning new things. For you and your perspective, what's it been like for you in this year you've had here at Michigan State?
Yeah, I think it could have been, the best thing I could have did. It's been a good learning tool. Just with the game of football, it comes with adversity. So, how we handle things, I don't think nobody in the country handled the things that we handled as well as we did. So, I'm really, really thankful for that.
We kind of knew a little bit about you because you've had some fun here at Spartan Stadium before and catching touchdowns.
Looking for the end zone, throwing, it's caught! Daniel Barker, touchdown! And with 5 seconds to go, Illinois takes the lead!
Coming from Illinois to here, what was that transition like, getting acclimated to the program?
It was loved. It was loved, like just all the fans and everybody around in the community, everybody on the team and staff. Everybody embraced you all as one, with a lot of love. So it was a great deal to be really a part of.
Back on November 5th, Barker and his new teammates got some revenge on his former team.
What was your favorite part about beating Illinois?
The joy I seen from everybody else that it was given back to me. Everybody wanted to be on that same page and kind of get the win for me. To see the guys that's proud that we got the win for me, it was pretty good because everybody kind of thought things was about me, but it was still about the team though. But everybody embraced it well. To be able to get back on track, they were the #1 defense at the time, so to be able to step up to that task and come out with the outcome that we did, it was really great.
There was a lot of different clips of you on social media and stuff of being like this guy who's very loud and very, very exciting and stuff and likes to, they had you mic'd up, I think, for one point during camp.
The cameras just like me. I don't got to be mic'd up to have the cameras following me.
That's fair.
They probably know I'm one big play away. Maybe that's why they're following me this way.
You're always one big play away.
Exactly.
What's it like for you to be able to bring that type of energy to the locker room?
It was really fun, especially that. I think if it was one thing that I really enjoyed, it was being mic'd up. Because when you're young, you just watch. You go on YouTube and you see all the NFL sound FX, you see all that stuff, and you're like, dang, they really have a mic in their shoulder pads, and to be able to do it, it was a great feeling. That's why I just gave it everything I had, and I'm like, yep.
Oh, hey, coach! Hey, we good. Ah!
I'm all about just being positive, you know. Even if I see guys that, you know, that might not get as much attention as the guys or the bigger stars or things like that, you know, I want to come to them and make their day joyful. Like, and I want everybody to just be happy and smile, like, because when you're not happy, you know, life's not really good.
Your life is not only about trials and tribulations, but it's also about enjoying happiness.
You woke up this morning, you smile. Definitely.
Knowing that the possibility of going through a tough situation at Penn State, if you guys were to lose that game, could be your final college football game ever. What's that thought like? What's your mindset like going into a game like this?
I just want to cherish every moment that I get to, you know, play this game that we call football. You know, because it's not going to be forever. But so, you know, every game I treat it like it's my last, or like it's my last snap. Like, you know, I gotta pour my all into it like I do every game.
You enjoy the little things.
Enjoy the little things. The little things are the most important things. Those are the ones that you remember forever.
Barker's positivity and attention to detail certainly permeates throughout the Spartans locker room. And when we come back, you're going to hear from Coach Mel Tucker, who also has a great mindset heading into this week's trophy game against Penn State, where there is so much on the line. We'll see you soon.
Closed captioning sponsored by Hearing Life, helping Spartans love their ears. With 41 locations across Michigan, go to hearinglife.com to take a free online hearing test. Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Just go ahead and take one on each side. Okay, anytime.
Since the renewal of the series in 1993, the winner of the Michigan State-Penn State rivalry game has been presented with this guy, the one and only land-grant trophy. It honors the university's two unique places in history as the two pioneer land-grant schools in the nation. And MSU really wants to keep it in East Lansing after going 0 for 2 in trophy games this year. Plus, their season depends on it, and it's where we begin our chat this week with Coach Mel Tucker. Well, it's no surprise to anyone kind of what's on the table here for you guys. Last game of the regular season, trying to become bowl eligible. That's not the conversations that you're having around here. So what are the conversations that you are having heading into this week against Penn State?
Yeah, great opportunity. You know, we have seniors that, you know, this has wound down, and this is it for them in terms of guaranteed opportunities. So it's you know, really important, top 10 team, and an opportunity to play our best 60 minutes. You know, obviously we know that postseason is at stake, and our guys love to play football. I know they want to play as many games as possible. Same thing with the coaches, same thing with the support staff. So yes, there is a sense of urgency, and it is a very important game. It's a big game for us.
Afterwards, on Saturday against Indiana, you had mentioned that you were just sick about it all, how the game had transpired. So now that you've been able to watch the film, that's something that you like to do. What's the biggest takeaway from what you learned from rewatching the game? Consistency
and performance, and you know, for us, we have to be able to execute for 4 quarters. You know, 60 minutes in the game, we have to be more perfect more often in all 3 phases. And it's going to take a lot of mental toughness. You know, how do we improve in just a week's time? You know, that's the question in the areas where we need the most improvement. But yes, certainly, you coming out of a game like that, you know, very disappointed. You know, sometimes, you know, frustrated with some of the things you know, that I see on tape, you know, afterwards. But what's most important is what we do next.
Special teams play was the difference. You knew that that was going to be the case. How much emphasis have you put on special teams so far this week?
Yeah, even more. And we practice special teams every day. We dedicate a lot of meeting time to special teams. So it's a priority for us. You know, we've had to go back and you know, revisit some things, you know, personnel, scheme and approach. So we've retaught some things in some of our special teams units, which has taken some additional time, but it's well worth the investment.
The psyche of a kicker usually is a little bit different than the other positions on a team. So where would you say that Ben Patton's psyche is this week?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know that. You know, and I've never been a kicker for any coach or any player. You know, every play has a history and a life of its own. Every game has a history and a life of its own. You know, so this is a new game and a new opportunity. And what's important is what we do in the game. You know, we learn from the past. Hopefully, we you know, we improve, and then you know, we prepare for the next challenge, the next opportunity. And so, you know, that's what we're all doing.
After the game, too, you mentioned that there was a lot of devastation in the locker room. The players also mentioned there was a lot of devastation in the locker room. Can you describe that a little bit more and what it was like to walk in there after that loss?
Yeah, well, I'm always the last one in the locker room, so the players are pretty much quieted down and you know, ready for me to come in and address them. And so, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's the body language. You know, you're looking at you know, facial expressions of guys. You know, and I know this team very well. Some of these guys have been with us, you know, for 3 seasons, and so you know, I know, you know, what it means to them, and when they don't have success, you know, it really hurts. And so, you know, that was the atmosphere in the locker room after the game.
The other major point of emphasis for Tucker this week is he wants the players to learn how to own things, and it will be all about how the Spartans respond against the Nittany Lions. Based upon Tucker's track record, a win could be in their future come Saturday, and we'll explain why when we come back.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Earlier this year on the road at Illinois, Michigan State was able to take down the Illini, who were ranked at the time. It was Mel Tucker's 4th road win in his career over a Big Ten ranked opponent and a major milestone in his career. He's the first FBS coach to have 4 road wins against AP ranked teams in the last 4 years. So we had to ask him if that kind of stat could play a factor in Saturday's outcome, and it's where we begin part 2 of our chat this week.
We don't look at the rankings, obviously. You know, we make sure the players are aware of, you know, their win-loss record, who they played, and things like that, and the score and how they won games. But, you know, at the end of the day, where a team is ranked really doesn't matter to us.
One thing that's pretty interesting about Penn State as you head into this game against them, they're coming off a game where they had 3 non-offensive touchdowns. Have you showed your players that yet? Or, I mean, what's it like when you're going up against a team who's essentially, you know, able to do that?
Yeah, well, we show the players, you know, plays from the previous games. You know, we make sure they understand, you know, how they won the game or, you know, why they lost the game. You know, critical plays, explosive plays, whether offense, defense, or special teams, so that our players, you know, understand what, you know, what they're facing. So, you know, we do that every week, and this week's no different.
When you go up against a coach like James Franklin, what's your relationship with him, and just sort of what do you anticipate as you go up against him?
Yeah, I've gotten to know Coach Franklin a little bit over the years, and we have a good relationship, you know, a very good professional relationship, you know, especially like during COVID. You know, we were on a lot of calls together. There was a lot of conference calls, you know, all Big Ten coaches calls, you know, AD calls. You know, we were doing that once a week, sometimes, you know, twice a week, and we were all trying to figure it out. I have a high level of respect for James as a coach and as a person. One more quick question about going to Penn State. It's sort of one of those places that this game every single year for a Michigan State team, it's always snowing. The weather is usually just atrocious against Penn State. Even last year, it was a snow game here. So what do you try to prep some of your players on who haven't played there, maybe some of the freshmen, because you do have a lot of freshmen that play for you right now? Yeah, we have a lot of the young kids that are running around out there, and they're getting a lot of experience, and some of them are making plays, which is great. When we go on the road, and if there's certain special type of environments, we try to, we do show them that ahead of time. We'll show them video, of the stadium. We'll make sure they understand how loud it's going to be. That's important, so players can, visualize that and be prepared. Also, we'll create, some controlled and uncontrolled chaos in practice, and that will also include noise to help, with our communication, things like that. My experience has been, once you actually get to the game and you get in the game, you stay focused and you play one play at a time, kind of all those things kind of go out the window. It's not as big of a factor, when you're focused on the task at hand and focused on executing. So, that's what we're going to have to do in that environment.
It is Thanksgiving week.
Yep.
What does that schedule look like for you and your team?
Well, not much changes for us from a schedule standpoint, and that's because we're a morning practice team. So normally we're off the field, and, by 11:30, every day. In the team meeting, I'll put up a slide on the PowerPoint that says Happy Thanksgiving, and probably have a turkey, and that'll be about it. And we'll go to work, and then the players will have the afternoon to celebrate, Thanksgiving. Then we'll be right back at it Friday morning.
Do you have a favorite food item that you like to eat on Thanksgiving when you get the chance?
That's a great question. So if I can get a hold of sweet potato pie, I'll definitely do that. I'll just have to make sure, especially this time of year for me, that I don't have too much.
Why is that? Do you overindulge in sweet potato pie?
That could happen. I gotta have a high level of discipline and intentional focus in that regard.
In his 3 years in East Lansing, Tucker is 1-1 against Penn State, with the lone win coming last year in a snow-filled Spartan Stadium. As always, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show. Have a happy and healthy rest of your weekend.